I was just in a protective order trial last week. Protective orders are very, very confidential. You actually can't even look them up unless you're the attorney of record. So a lot of times it's family members who have some sort of dispute, ex-husband, ex-wife situation like that where there's a dispute. But the situation is it's a protective order, meaning one party felt like they needed to be protected from another party for whatever reason. So it is very important to fight having a protective order against you. Number one, it sets you up for some sort of future charge. If this is a person that maybe if you're ex-husband and ex-wife and you have a kid together, something like that, or there's some relationship with a kid, you're going to need to have contact with that person in order to set up childcare. It sets up a situation where you could be looking at a violation of the protective order. And if that happens, for any number of reasons, it doesn't just have to be if there's a kid involved, it could be for any reason. A criminal charge can be filed, an invasion of privacy charge can be filed. And that can be charged as a misdemeanor, or if it happens more than once, it can be charged as a level 6 felony. It can stick with you. It can restrict your ability to have a firearm. There are all sorts of collateral consequences that can come from a protective order being granted against you. Our client was very satisfied. Like I said, every person who came up before us, that protective order was granted. We used the rules of evidence to our benefit. We made sure that the petitioner's case was limited only to what should be allowed in. And so the case was thrown out. We didn't even have to present a case. We didn't even have to put our client up there under oath to testify and tell his side of the story, because we were able to limit so much of what was presented that the judge had no choice but to dismiss the claim before we even presented the case. And that's called an involuntary dismissal. It's something similar to what you would see in a bench trial in a criminal case. So if you've got notice of a protective order hearing, whether the claims are absolutely valid and you think they should be granted too, or whether they're based on nothing and it's complete nonsense, call an attorney to talk about your options right away, because we're going to be able to pull that protective order. We're going to be able to see the allegations against you, and we're going to be able to help build a defense and see if it's something. Do we want to fight it, or is it something where we don't want to risk you being put under oath and having to testify to these things and open yourself up to criminal prosecution? That's all a strategy decision we can make together based on what you know about the case, what the person is filing against you says about the case. We can come to a decision on how best to handle it for you. And remember, always plead the fifth. Give us a call, 317-632-3642.